Work.
What it do, world? It's your boy Soul Power, aka Gamed Up Kennels. And I got my great brother with me, one fifth for the Shogun Army, the great Dre, Samurai, old William Yellow Dogs in the building.
That's tight, bro. Salute my brother. Salute everybody in the chat and everybody that's going to be in the chat or listening to this on the replay.
Hey man, how's my audio?
Oh, bro, you're crisp. It's crisp.
Right on. Hey man, we just unfortunately having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we making do. And we're gonna get this thing right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this thing right. But when we do, man, we on these suckers' heads. The only thing I'm gonna have to tell them is shots fired.
Bro, that is so dope. That's fire. You gotta, when we get in the back chat, you gotta hook a brother up, man. I need to learn the way.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, man, and I'm only man, I'm so upset because I want this thing to be flowing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not able to really enjoy it and rock out the way that I should be. But we go get this together, you know what I'm saying? So, but absolutely, no doubt, I'm gonna go ahead and throw you that lick, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be a beautiful thing. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. You feel me? Yeah, man. How was your weekend, brother?
Man, it was phenomenal, bro. This is so coming. You know, I just recently moved to Arizona and working this new job. I have less time away from the family, man. More time to get back to the family. So we actually spent the days together. You know, we went up to Mount Lemon and we cooked out today, and we're actually cooking dinner together as we speak.
Oh man, dope. Beautiful. And shout out to the family bonding right there. Brother Asiatic Soldier, salute. I see you in the building. First one to comment. Y'all make sure y'all share this link out. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this engagement up. Man, we just came in here just to let our presence be felt, let the people know, hey, the Shogun Army is elite and it's the only way. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth and the light.
Yes, sir. I like that. That was dope. That's a t-shirt right there.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm gonna need somebody to be copywriting. You know what I'm saying? Some of these things that be coming off. Yes, sir. He says, Asiatic Soldier says he in Texas at a rest stop. Man, tuned in already. Catch guard kennels. Salute. Good to see the growth. Hey man, I appreciate it, family. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and give you a good old appreciate that, family. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, we working, man. You know, we scratching, we barking, you know. We doing what the good old bulldogs do, you know what I'm saying? We barking at them. That's what we doing. We barking up this tree, working on being great, man. Working on being great. I got some custom sounds coming. In fact, so y'all stay tuned, man. We getting this audio correct. We building the studio up over here. You know, we ain't doing this for fun. Or it's no jokes, rather. We having fun with it, but we staying tapped in. We locking in full force. full force. Y'all make sure y'all share this, hit your like button, make sure y'all got your bell notifications. And man, we rocking out, man. It's a beautiful Monday. I just wanted to tap in, let the people hear my voice. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to speak on freely today, bro, we can really tap into, man. Any topic, bro. Anything. I didn't really have nothing too planned. More so, I was locked in, like I said, trying to get all of the audio equipment squared away.
Hey man, Catch Guard, if you done there and you listening, man, I just went and subscribed to you, bro, and I see you got some the things you're doing. I would like to get to know you for myself, bro, and work with you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Shout out, Catch Guard. Shout out, shout out. I got to tap in and check out some of your videos. What the brother got going on over there, man?
So I had I do the bite work stuff and the protection work stuff, and the first thing I noticed when I went on the brother's channel without spoiling everything, so y'all can still get over there and support, is he deals with ASC, American Sentinel Canines, and the Frankie Bump blood, which is a heavy Soros male from Lee Robinson. And that's some stuff that we talked about. So you and I, we talked about this back maybe 6 to 10 months ago about where I would breed to next. I would want to assign from either something like your Mayday stuff or a Soros dog. So that ties in heavily.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's right on right there. He says he got a hide for okay.
Oh man, thank you for your support, brother. I absolutely appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Said he got your hide, bro. Uh Lee Robinson is in here. What he say?
No. So Lee Robinson is the guy from
Okay, yeah,
ASC.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I just I didn't even put it all together with what you were saying. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, in the real way. In the real way. Tony M in the building. Salute, great brother. Salute, great brother. Hey
Tony
man.
M.
Hey man, what you think about that photo for tonight's caption? I don't know if you got to see it or not.
So I did, and that is that one of the forms of is it Ogun? Because that was one of the that was one of the images you put on your first live.
No,
And
that wasn't Ogo. It was just a black samurai.
so I liked it because it reminded me of Yasuke. But I also wanted to bring up you use terminology from the Kabbalion in your header for that as well.
Yes, sir.
And I wanted to let you know that I have begun my research, my brother. I will never not cherish the information you've given me. And right now, I'm only in chapter 2.
Yes.
Chapter 1 broke it down nicely, and it did exactly the way I like to digest information. Though those of y'all who don't have it, so is it? It's the Kabbalion, the 3 initiates, correct?
Yes, sir. I have it
Y'all,
right here in my hand.
y'all go cop that. Now, the thing that I liked the most was it broke down to 7 principles of it. Now, I like principles and statutes. And so
I can share those 7 principles.
absolutely, man. But I want to chime on one real quick. So, and this is the big one. When you meeting people, man, the principle of vibration is important, and that's why I think all my brothers really came from was they were sending off the vibration. But go ahead, so cook on that a little bit, brother.
Now, I mean, you that was so poignant. Uh, Vibration, being able to find or be attracted to the people on your same frequency, you know, and then understanding. I think that goes along with the polarity as well too. Um, Sometimes we can. I'll say it like this. I look at polarity almost like that pendulum, right? Understanding that you need to have the balance. So opposites at times, needing people to challenge your opinions, things of that nature. So if I can't always have yes men around. Well, I don't want yes men around me. I don't. that's not conducive to my growth. Brother 641 tree in the building. Salute, salute. So oh yeah. I see you, brother Asiatic Soldier said he's on chapter 1 in a real way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, a great book, y'all. I'm almost done with this, but there's something that I'm gonna be constantly rereading because you gain something from it. And what I've been doing is going back to chapters and rereading them, making sure I'm digesting it right. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping on it, waking up and rereading it again. So I'm looking at it almost the way that people read a scripture. You know, you don't just read it one time. You have to read it. You know, a lot of people will read it, pray on it, you know, ask God for more clarity and understanding of that scripture. You know, go read something else or find a scripture that may tie into it, then come back to it to try to gain the knowledge from that scripture or that, you know. So that's how I'm looking at the Kabbalion, taking in, ingesting it from that standpoint. I want to read it thoroughly through, front to back, but making sure I'm going back and being able to digest everything. But getting back to the point of the vibration, being on the same frequency with the people around you, and along with that too, making sure that there is a difference in the polarity. You know, understanding if we looking at electrical components, you need a positive and a negative charge for that cycle to be complete. So that's how I look at life. I gotta have brothers around me to challenge and who don't always agree with what I'm saying, you know, and that's going to further my growth and me uh, maximizing my potential as a man. Anything you want to add to that, family? You on mute if you were speaking.
Oh yeah, I'm here, bro. I had a phone in my pocket. I couldn't get to it fast enough.
Okay, no doubt.
Yeah, man. And so that being said, man, it's that's one of the things that makes you a masculine man. It makes you a man in his godlike form is the ability to give a correction with care. And I don't mean being soft or being meek with your corrections. What I mean is giving a correction out of love and out of understanding that all right, how do I put it? The creative mind is a fragile mind because it looks for approval. But the
Right.
mind but the mind of a scholar or a wise man is steadfast because it knows itself. And man, the Kabbalion, because you said something the other week, man, when you was talking about the Kabbalion, and it appealed to this conversation where it had you second guessing yourself and thinking about things, man, that people won't think about. And I'll give you an example. Okay, so one of the things that I'm really big into is like mythology and religion, right? Like I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person, but like I understand the stories. I was raised on the stories, right?
So ethos.
And so one of the things that was really cool was when it was talking about who the text of the Kabbalion was written by, nobody knows his origin.
Right.
In some religions, they called him Hermes,
Right.
Hermes Tristis, you know, 3 times great, which I thought was cool because like I was like, I always thought of Hermes as being one of the lesser gods, the way he's portrayed on. If you really watch mythology movies, Hermes is always portrayed as a lesser god. And they don't really show his multifaceted. They show him with the wing slippers. He's always a punk carrying messages and running errands for the other guys. All right. Then they show him as Toph, the Egyptian guy with the big head, but the knowledgeable guy. And even when they portrayed him in a movie, he was a nerd. He was played by brother Chadwick Boseman. And even there, he was a nerd. And so they're trying to play this down and not realize the greatness of it. But who cares how he's portrayed? Did you get the message?
Hey, let me add to that, brother. So I don't understand. I'm not sure if you caught that dichotomy right there. Ultimately, what they were doing was showing because Hermes is supposed to be a Roman Greco divinative, or that is their they adapted that god from thought, right? Being an Afro god, you know, an Egyptian god. That was them recontextualizing and making it a Greek god. or a Roman god, right?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of it? If he came from black, see, we got to understand how the media would try to always put the black man on the shoe, right? At the bottom of the shoe. You know, always stumping us, not giving us. Hey, brother 614 True, we're talking about the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion, the three initiates. Kabbalion is spelled Kybalion. Kabbalion. Yes, sir. But understanding, keeping the black man, keeping the foot on the black man's neck, right? Showing all black deities as being lesser than the white deities. So that was an overstand. If you know, you know, if you're looking at contextually what they were saying about the black gods, and what you're speaking to is that damn Gods of Egypt movie that they did with Chadwick Boseman when he was thought, right? And he was supposed to be like the master.
Hold on. Now think about what you just said now. And
Okay.
if y'all never seen this movie, he talking about, you're 100% correct. Think about where this movie takes place at, and why was Chadwick Boseman the only god in there? There was
hello. You overstanding what I'm saying, but understanding that all these principles were taken from Egypt. When you look at these old Greek scholars, and they all say they got their knowledge from Egypt. Well, where did Egypt get its knowledge from? He got it from Kush. What is Kush known? If we look at Kush today on the map, that's Sudan. So you're talking about these people right here, and then we'll go into a historical conversation with that on one of these days. But that would take us to Taharka, and what he does at a particular period of time is when Egypt is in its lowest form, he comes in and he brings Egypt back together. But he comes in, conquers, brings back the old culture of Egypt. This is a man coming from Kush. You know what I'm saying? Taharka. Y'all look up Brother Taharka and see what he did for Egypt, right? But we talk about a black man. And ultimately, what I was alluding to is the fact that Egypt's got its knowledge always came from the East. You know what I'm saying? From the South, east of it, bringing that knowledge forward. So ultimately, Greece, Rome, all of these were students to the Afro man, to the black man. You know what I'm saying? Brother Catch Guard Kennel says the rabbit hole runs deep. The Matrix, absolutely, absolutely. And the more you, the irony in that is, the more you study, the more you realize I don't know anything.
Hey, so
Yes,
so that Matrix line you just brought up, bro, I kind of wanted to tag brother Pimps and Simpson. Is that cool with you?
absolutely, brother. Hey, man, anytime. You just shoot him the invite. Hey, that brother is welcomed anytime, brother.
All right, man, because this
You gotta ask me. Just shoot him an invite.
nah, so I appreciate you, bro. I wanted to share this with you, so because what you just said about that Matrix, man, is different. And he talked. He and I use the Matrix as a basis for us to discuss the world. And one of the things about the Matrix, and I'm seeing this issue more and more, is that if you're watching the Matrix, the first Matrix movie, right? Mm-hmm. You hear Morpheus tells Neo after they give him the pill and he wakes up and his awakens to the real world and what's really going on. He says, "I'm sorry, we don't typically awaken people at a certain age because their minds can't handle it."
Hello. There's comfortability in ignorance.
Yeah, of course. Ignorance is bliss.
Absolutely. I employ any of you brothers to go back and just do your history on the Great Brother 78 Sports. Maybe about 2-3 years ago, he talks about this on one of his lives, and he says the most at peace he ever was in his life was when he was a Muslim. And he said that was ruined when some brothers came and crushed his belief on the Abrahamic faiths. And since then, it kind of changed him internally. That's not his words verbatimly, but understanding that the ignorance of him not knowing the truth had a certain freedom in his life. You know what I mean? And when you are privy and you open yourself up to the knowledge, well, guess what? You don't, you now you have to walk this earth with not only the knowledge, but now you have to, you are employed to now disseminate it at some point. So you are always going to be employed to make sure at some point or another you've given this information to somebody, and that right there, that can become a burden. But you know what I'm saying, you hold in all that information. I personally believe that you didn't complete your life's duty, and if there is a reincarnation, you're gonna have to run that back until you get it right.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. It it goes without saying that the law of the 85%, 85% are sheep, 10% are glad that they're sheep and they don't know that they're sheep. And then 5% are the poor noble teachers. The older I get, the more I see the poor noble teachers.
Absolutely, man. And the word, what I was looking to say was, it's a burden when you carry that on you. When you can look at the world and you can see what it really is. Man, I look at so many people and their ignorance about the reality that we live in, and it's so amazing. How many times have you ran into an adult? Let's just say somebody, a functioning adult over the age of 25. But when you listen to them and when you see them interface with the world, you like, wow, you really have the wisdom of about a 10-year old as far as being able to see what your reality around them is. I run into so many people like that. When you talk to the youth, they got all of these grand ideas, or it's just very commercialized in their thought process. You know what I mean? They don't have real expectations for what reality is. And I meet so many adults like this. They don't see the world for what it is. You talk to them about real things like gardening, healing yourself, uh, investing, generational wealth, all of these different components of what life should be for an adult, and build and progressing and moving forward in your next generation, being of service to your people. So many people don't get that concept. It's literally turn up. It's all about fun. Everything for them is about, you know what I'm saying? It's an adrenaline. It's that fix. They something along those lines where they have to be entertained. And I see it as a child from that perspective. Y'all brothers cook on that. Hey, brother Big A in the building. Salute, salute, salute.
And now that's a pimps over simps, I believe. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, I see you, brother Pimps of the Sip. I see you. No, I was just saluting brother Big A.
Oh,
And
I ain't even see
go
the
ahead.
chat. I ain't even
Yeah,
see the chat. I'm
yeah,
stupid. Okay, okay. Yeah, so
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me give a proper salute to the great brother Pimps of the Simps. You dig?
What's good? What's good, man? I'm a little computer literate. I had to get situated over here for a second. But what's going on with y'all? How everybody doing?
Hey man, all is well, man.
yeah, man.
All is mental.
Yes,
Hey,
sir. Yes, sir.
brother 614 Tree said it's a social media society. I think it's a multitude of things. You know what I'm saying? We got to look
Oh,
how the government has really stacked the deck of cards. So the social media is just, becoming the straw that broke the camel's back.
Hey man, so and brother Pimps over Sims, can I share a story about the 85%, the 10%, and the 5% real quick with y'all?
Absolutely, share.
All right, so this story goes back to why for lack of knowledge our people are being destroyed. And so what I wanted to bring up was that there was a situation that happened when I was in Korea, and there was a brother that was killed on television, right, in front of people, and there was an uproar of the people. And I want to explain why the uproars are never sustained and why where I see the division at. And this is where I see the division. And I'm gonna bring it all together here very, very, very shortly. Okay, so the man is killed and he was unarmed. However, his reaction to the situation, knowing that they were out hunting for him, was not what I would say was the appropriate reaction. Nor should that man have been killed for reacting in that manner. And so in Korea, a lot of their brothers and sisters wanted to, do what we do, tear up our own shit. And they wondered why I wasn't willing to tear up my own shit. And I said, I want to extrapolate the facts here. I don't know this young man, and I'm sorry to his family for what pain was caused by the negligence and cowardice of the police officer that shot him. However, we don't view each other as family. And that's what I'm getting at. I have two little brothers. They're my cousins, but I was raised like they're my brothers. And even Pimps Over Sims was raised more like a brother than a cousin. If somebody did something to one of them, it would be easier for me to react because I know that we stand on a common ground. Therefore, even if they were in the wrong, it was not intentional and they did not intentionally slight the other person. It makes it easy to go to war over a situation like that. Now, I bring that up because y'all gonna see, if y'all haven't already seen it in social media, there's a lady who was hit in the face with a brick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
use
I saw that.
our opinions on that because I'm hearing conflicting things and stories. So I'm reserving my opinion
Until you have the facts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what I'm getting at is, if we were on the same page, and I'll give you an example. So if you say, brother, I probably wouldn't deal with that person, then I'm going to trust your opinion to at least govern myself accordingly around that person. I will never completely rule somebody out just because of another man's word, because there's always the human error in there. But I trust you enough to at least be on guard and take heed to your message. Now, what I'm saying is that relationship that I have with you is not the genuine relationship that we have with most of our people. For an example, if they said, this company right here doesn't support us, there's enough of the 85% that they don't need the 10 or the 5% to support them, because the 85% are going to do it anyways.
Facts.
Agreed. Let me go ahead and shout out brother Brent Fox in the building. Salute. Appreciate the support, family. He said just coming through showing support already. Tony M said, hold on, what he say? Man, Bricks be doing the job. At least she all right. Nigga. What's wrong with him, G? That nigga said, at least he all right. God damn.
Hey, so I need to kick in again because this, bro, like these issues are the main reason why I'm on YouTube. It's always been about the dogs as a catalyst, right? But I actually have a prior YouTube channel that people don't even know about where I talk about these issues. And I stopped and went on to just the dog thing. But like, bro, like this is empowering. And I want to share this, bro. My opinion, based on just what I was able to see and extrapolate with the public domain, was this. I cannot ascertain the innocence or guilt of either party. I cannot give that. What I can give you is the presentation. And I give you this. Dave Chappelle told a joke about this, and it was very effective. He said that if you dress up in a police officer's uniform, wearing a police officer's badge and a hat, that looks like a police officer, don't be surprised if people come up to you and report crimes.
Absolutely.
Now, I know nothing about this lady. I know absolutely nothing about this lady. But what I do know is the presentation. The presentation is not the color of our skin or the content of our character. The publication is that they've already released videos of that same night, twerking and doing all this illicit shit. I have nothing wrong with twerking. There's nothing against twerking. There's nothing against going out. I have no issue with any of these things. But if you listen to the masculinity that is portrayed from a woman that has been struck, it does not exude femininity at all.
Absolutely.
At all. And I'm just giving you the facts of what I could see from that video. So what I'm getting at is, this is why I teach my daughter, hey, babe, when I come in from work, don't ask me about my day till you see me make eye contact. If I'm not making eye contact with you, you need to leave me the hell alone. All right? Now, that's not just for my daughter. That's for when she deals with a working man. When you come home, sometimes you just need to go out in that backyard and smoke you a cigarette or have you a beer and decompress. Because you may answer questions with a militant mindset when you're just trying to get shit done. And you can't have that understanding. But that's it, brothers. I went off on a damn geopolitical tirade, man. Y'all brothers take that and do what y'all will with it.
No, I dig it. I dig it. Brother Pimps over Sips. Anything you want to add to that?
I'm not trying to be, you know, an asshole, but I mean, they did ask for equality. So, I mean, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. I agree with you though. You know, if it looks like a horse, you know, it's a horse. I mean, I don't think we should, you know, judge people solely off of presentation, but if the actions and the persona match the presentation, you know, what else you gonna go off of? You know, when you first meet a person, all you can go off of is their countenance, their appearance. You know what I mean? But it's not like it's unnormal. I mean, or this is something new, but I don't know, man. I mean, I've seen it so much. You know what I mean? It's like, sadly, you know, but I've seen it so much in my life. I kind of come desensitized to it a little bit. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, cuz. I agree with you.
Right. I mean, well, that's part of the programming, getting us to be desensitized when we see what we. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna whip this thing up like gumbo. Let me give a shout out to my brother Debo in the building. Daryl something. Salute, God. Peace. Appreciate you sliding through. Hey, y'all make sure your elbow drop the piss out that like button. Hit your bell notifications. Go ahead and share this out. Let's get the numbers up. Let's get in this algorithm. So I want to speak to something that Dre said maybe about 10 minutes ago, how we don't see each other as family. Well, other people understand that there has to be a racial code. And the importance of that is protective mechanisms, right? You're going to have infighting. It's the same way you and the sibling, or you and the cousin, whatever close family member might have some things going on. Y'all can get into a fight, but can't nobody else get into that and get into a fight with your people or say anything about them, because it's all out war at that point. And every other group of people has that thought process when it comes to interfacing with the world. It's a protective mechanism to keep people from organizing and putting together strategic attacks on your people. You have to have a cultural code. It's all about protective mechanisms. Understanding that if we don't see value in each other from a cultural or a racial standpoint, then other groups of people will look at us weak and perceive us to be soft targets And at that point, that's where you see the only reason why, police are able to get away with what they do is because in large scales, people aren't haven't bucked against the police forces consistently. Now they did it short periods, you know what I'm saying? 60s and 70s. That's why, for the most part, the 80s and up until the Rodney Kings, um, it was black people was kind of just chilling. Like the 70s and the 80s, the late 70s up until about the early 90s, black folk was big chilling, bro. You know what I'm saying? That walk up on a white dude in the daggone, a McDonald's line, and you jump at him and tell him, get out the way, I'm taking your spot. It was the fear of the black man because of the work that was put in uh prior to the early 70s, you know what I'm saying, mid 70s. It was a lot of work that was put in, but it wasn't a sustained thing. People have to know that if you harm my people, then it's the ant mentality. And that's how you prevent soft targets from being harmed, women and children.
Man, so tag me in, bro. I'm on one tonight, man. Hey, so this is why your channel is so crucial. Pimps Over Simps is why you have to continue to post. This is why I will continue to post, and I'll tell you exactly why. So I just Googled the definition of cultural, right? Sharing beliefs, practices, this, that, and the third. McKenna, can you please stop that? Thank you. And one of the things that I've noticed is that because we don't share the same cultural beliefs and values as a whole, you can't get behind each other. Now, y'all know I subscribe to the divine mathematics, one being the knowledge or the man. And that is, seeing things for what they are and not as they want them to be and seeing it for real. 2, the woman, the wisdom, you know what I'm saying? She gives guidance to the man. 3, the child, to understand, these are this, that, the third, divine mathematics. But what I'm getting at is that because we don't share any baselines, like some dudes feel like it's okay to strike a woman. Some dudes feel like you should never strike a woman. Some dudes feel like it's situational, right?
Absolutely.
These are things that were created by COINTELPRO. Now I'm getting mad because the fact that we all, I ain't gonna say we all, but the majority of us understand that the Black Panther Party was doing that. They were creating a baseline culture that you could build upon. You could take it and make whatever you wanted to make out of it. But what was happening was they were building a culture where we could trust each other because we had a baseline of what we will and will not do, as well as a baseline for excommunication. Now, mind you, each situation has to be handled a certain way because there is no concrete decision in the world when it comes to people. Every person is different. Who loves them and how they love them is different. But what you got to realize is that baseline is not there. And so you got hot girl culture, you got dope boy culture, you got woke culture, you got regular culture. And I always use comedians. Culture. Yeah. I always use comedians because Eddie Griffin is one of my top 5 comedians, man. He said it best. He said, you have Negroes. I just want to be left alone. I was good with boss. You got black folk, man, we chilling in the crib, man. We doing, black folk things. You got African Americans. I graduated debutante, and then you got, you know what I'm saying? You got hood dudes and you got niggas. You know what I'm saying? And these are all right. I can't go somewhere just with how I look and how I dress and how I walk and be identified as any one thing. Like you go, that's a white dude. They're all the same to us. And this is not a racist thing. This is true. Unless they dress, even if they dress a certain way, they're just a white guy, right? But they know the difference. Oh, that guy right there, he's a Polak or he's Irish. They know these things, but they all have a general understanding of what it means to be white. You go to a Hispanic guy, Mexicans deal with Mexicans, Puerto Ricans deal with other Puerto Ricans, Dominicans deal with Puerto Rico, Dominicans deal with Dominicans, but they have a general understanding of their culture. Even though it's being corrupted by Western society, they're still more ethnocentric than we are. Then you get to us, and you got, I can only speak on what I see. I've seen families, and this is nothing against families who live on public housing. Let me re-say that. This is nothing against families who live in public housing. But I know a family that is close to me, that I rock with hard, that have 3 generations living in the same housing project. And that was their aspiration at life.
No doubt. I want to speak to what you were saying. Let me go ahead and read what Brother Tony M said. He says, if a white boy hit her, what he said, if a white boy hit her with a brick, it would have been another river for a brawl. He says he thinks she probably should have ran. You know what? That's the femininity part right there. And that's I tell my wife this all the time. When you in public and I am not your safety net, when you see danger, you get to safety. Say I tell her only time you meet danger with aggression is in protection of your children or immediate protection of yourself if somebody's trying to present any type of bodily harm. And I'm like, your duty is to get to safety, get my children to safety, and to always remain in your divine feminine. You can't meet masculine force with and you're a woman. You can't outmatch him with I'm operating in my masculinity. No, you're operating in insanity. That's what you're operating in. So I'm with you on that, great brother. Run, get to safety. You know what I'm saying? And if you got you a goddamn it, you know, you do all the appropriate things to get away from that said person. And when you've exhausted all options, you know what I'm saying? Or if you truly feel like you felt like your life was in danger, you know, you do what you got to do to make sure you get home, you know. But that's making sure you equipping your women with all the necessary tools. You know what I'm saying? She's a wise woman. She didn't sculpt out the situation. She saw the danger. She sensed it. She smelt it, that intuition. So before it even ever got to that point, she did the necessary and appropriate things to, you know, best navigate that situation. But you know, that's other topics right there delving into. Uh, Brother, do you mind speaking on that last thing? That way I can speak to it appropriately.
All right, yeah. So my bad, man. I be having my phone in my pocket.
Yeah,
Uh, so as far as the culture, you know, as far as the culture and everything.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So one of the things I was saying was that, and I'm kind of just giving a synopsis of what I spoke on before to make sure I try to hit everything. Was that on our channels? One of the things that we're doing is we're galvanize those who will listen. Like even though our chats are small, you got to think, man. Like I'm looking at these chats as the at least the top 15%. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping it's the 5%, and it's going to make it really hard for the uninitiated to understand and be a part of the culture that I'm trying to build. Because the culture I'm trying to build is a culture where I'll give you an example. I'm just going to use the Freemasons because I have a general understanding of the Freemasons. I'm not a Freemason. I'm just talking about what you can find on Google. Okay. I'm just talking about what you can find on Google. They have certain handshakes and certain things they can do when they walk in a room to let other Masons know without saying anything that I'm here and I'm a brother. Okay. So you got, because what we're doing is we're walking around in the same military uniform, which is our skin. We're walking around in the same military uniform with people who don't know they're in the military.
Right. Okay, hey, this is what I wanted to speak to. Okay, I gather my thoughts. What you said, you spoke to something that revamped what you had said. I have a little bit difference of opinion, right? So, when they see a black person, they don't see difference between Jamaicans, FBA, which is foundational Black Americans or African Americans, you know what I'm saying, Nigerians, anything like that. But they see as a Black person, you know what I'm saying? And to them, threat. All the stereotypes come in mind. And at that point, you know, hold on, we got brother Big A in the building. Brother Big A in the building. What it do?
Hey, what's going on, man? I just want to say something real quick, but I want you to finish your thought. Uh, you know what I'm saying?
Already. Yeah. That was a slip of the button. I had to go ahead and make sure we cleared that up right there. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But so I have a difference of opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now, hey, oh man, salute. We got the great brother 7A Sports in the building. Salute, great brother. Appreciate you sliding through. Family. Honor. It's an honor. Yeah, man. So they look at us, they don't see a difference in culture as far as immediate, right? Now, they would use the difference in cultures, right, against for their for them to push the agenda. They'll use people from the diaspora because a lot of times when they bring them here to America, it's a coon culture, right? You know, they know that they're easily influenced. They don't know anything about the Black American struggle. So they can say, stay away from the Black people. They're Akatas. They're no good, right? So they can use them people to push their narrative. Use them to push things like and put them in front of a camera and say, Black people, we don't need reparations, right? Understanding that that person right there wouldn't even be eligible for reparation, but they can use them as a tool. So that's the only time that they would look at a Black person and differentiate us. That's the only time. But any other time, you just a nigga, bro. You just a nigga. And getting to the Latin people, you know, these people have a clear disdain for darker complected people. When you look at the Latin cultures, yeah, man, they will act as if they love. It's all about Latin progressive love, this, that, and the third. But they have a slogan. I don't know it verbatim, but it means to purify the race. I don't know it in Spanish, but basically lighten up the culture. So the darker you are, you know, if you're a darker person, they want you to marry a light-skinned person. They want to make sure that they're lightening up the race. Everything about them, you talk to them, these people, dark as I am, you know what I'm saying? But when you ask them, what are you? They'll tell you they're Spanish. So we got to look at it contextually and understand that Black people, American Black people, are some of the most prideful people, right? And white people put on the front, you know what I'm saying? Like they are just on code and things like that. No, bro, these people, they don't really rock with each other like that. All you got to do is look at historically what was going on in the Dark Ages. You know what I'm saying? All of the infighting and the war, and all these Viking shows, man, these motherfuckers are brutal with each other. Here's the difference. They get on code to make sure that they stay dominating us. So that is the thing. They know how to be on code in the public view, but outside of the public view, these motherfuckers, they have disdain for each other the same way the appearance that we do for each other. They just, the optics is, and they have enough sense that they will be on code culturally to dominate melanated people. And I'm gonna let y'all brothers cook.
Hey, I need to jump in real quick, man. So you got me excited. So what you just said is 100%. I agree with the portion about the public thing. Brother Big A, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What occupation is the greatest occupation in the world?
Greatest occupation? I don't know, but I know what the what I don't know. What are you trying to get at? I probably
So
know.
you told me this person would be greater than any king. They'd be greater than
Oh
any
yeah,
person.
okay. So yes, the person that is the next greatest person besides God, that is man, is the storyteller. See, because the storyteller doesn't need to be a king. The storyteller doesn't need to have an army. The storyteller doesn't need to have all of these things a certain power, because his power is in this in the story itself. The story itself can persuade kings, can persuade, persuade people to move a certain way. So yeah, yeah.
Hey, now the reason I wanted him to say that is because Brother Big A's wisdom enlightened me to that. Now, look at all the books, all what you call it, the mosaic face or whatever it's called. Look at all of them. Whoever told the story ran the people.
Facts.
Now, I brought it up because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to change the narrative at a microcosm. What we're doing is a movement, man. If I die right now today, my voice is recorded and somebody done heard it. You get what I'm saying? You put me on the Kabbalion, and in the Kabbalion it says every generation it only takes a few initiates to carry the message forward.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. So if I have to be articulate, you have to be articulate. 7-8, you in the chat, you have to be articulate. 88 Asiatic soldier, articulate. Everybody here can articulate. They are the 5%. And these 5%, we have to sharpen each other's minds. And some, iron sharpens iron, like each man sharpens another. And sometimes sparks is gonna fucking fly.
Yes, sir. Hey, let me go ahead and give great brother 7-8 his flowers. One of the best orators in the game. The way he's able to tell stories and be concise in his thought process. Hey, y'all really got to lock in with the brother, man. Lock in. True value to men, but especially our people, brother. You know what I'm saying? Young brothers, if you don't have a father or you didn't have a solid father figure around, man, y'all got to go tap into his Patreon. That's a great way to get you on, right? And if you ain't got the money right, you know what I'm saying? Until you can afford to tap into the Patreon, stay locked in over here, man, because we building men. We building men. You know what I'm saying? And these conversations is affirmation. You know what I'm saying? This is therapeutic for us. I know for myself, I speak on things because I want to be challenged at times. And
Right.
I'm always speaking because I want to make sure that I'm leading my household in the proper way. So I want to, getting on these forums right here, speaking to you, great brothers. Y'all can challenge my thoughts. You know what I mean? And correct me when I'm wrong. And ultimately, if I'm not building my household, my Black household, you know what I mean, to be progressive and pushing that forward and be successful, you know what I'm saying, be righteous, my son, I'm holding him in my arm right now. Right? If he's not carrying on the legacy of this, this soul power right here, then it's lost.
Right.
If my daughters aren't practicing the things that we talk about, what great women are supposed to be, you know what I mean? If I don't hold my wife to the standard, to the opposite standard of what the world is presenting, then that's a problem.
Right.
I got 2 daughters. How can I say, or how can I demonize the optics of what the modern day woman is, but it's going down in my house right now. Oh, look at that nasty ratchet broad, this, that, and the third. But my wife got a stripper pole in the fucking living room, and she twerking with my babies behind her, and she on a damn TikTok video. But but I'm pointing at everybody else.
Yeah.
And shout out to them twerkers though, in the real life.
So I wanted to say something, man. I really can't talk too much. The wind blowing outside, I'm at work or whatnot. But it all starts with culture. Culture is what carries the torch from generation to generation. But when you lose your culture, the next thing to carry the torch is the man. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these problems that we deal with today, you know, it comes from not having a father and a mother in the household. And that's, you know what I'm saying, the start of the problem. Not saying that, you know what I'm saying, kids in single parent homes can't grow up and be successful, and men lead other men, or women lead other men, or lead the masses or whatnot. But when you don't have that mother and father in the household, you already are missing out on valuable lessons that life has to give. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, when the father isn't there, the next thing to follow is religion. You know what I'm saying? To take the place of the father in the household. And a lot of people will pray or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever your higher power is or whatever the case may be. A lot of people pray, but they never read the actual book or the words. And you don't have to be Christian, you don't have to be Muslim, you don't have to be religious at all. But these books have been here for eons. They have been here for centuries on end, and these are lessons in life. So a lot of people will pray, but they don't read the lessons in life. These lessons in life have been going on for generations and generations. So when you don't have the mother, you don't have the father, you already starting at a negative. Then you don't actually read the lessons in life. That puts you back at a even further negative. Now you out here blind. Now you're raised by a mother, and as a boy, you have feminine ways because you following your mother. Your father is raising a daughter, by herself, and she has more masculine ways or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these things, when you're missing that piece, that important piece, you have another important piece to follow. And like I say, you don't have to be religious at all, but these are things that have you know what I'm saying, have set the pace on how to live a structured life and be successful. So now you out here feeling your way through life, and you write your own script, and then things don't fall the way that you want them to fall. You pick the wrong wife, or you pick the wrong husband, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, because you not doing it, a structured way. And that, a lot of people just, they look at the problem that's in front of them. They, it's this, it's that, it's this, but they don't look at the root of the situation. So in order to make a difference, like for tomorrow, everything starts in the household. It doesn't start with the police. It doesn't start with this. It doesn't start with that. Everything starts in the household. And in order for, a community to actually be on the same page, everybody, it goes by moral law. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we always, we fighting each other because our moral law doesn't align with each other. Everybody running around here just freestyling, doing whatever they do. It's already set in stone that it doesn't matter what group of people that you have. If you put them in one, if you put a large mass of people in one land, they're going to have disputes, and it's going, people are going to section off and do this. But one thing that we don't have is we don't have that culture. Like, for example, like in the Italian family, like the man and the woman never leave the house until they get married. So you will be living in your household at 40 years old with your parents, and that's normal. For us, with no culture, you trying to get out the house as fast as you possibly can, 16, 18, and on and so forth, man. And this all goes back to the original situation of, you know what I'm saying, following these rules or this way of life, you know.
Hey, brother Big A, you mind if I slightly rebut that?
Man, spit your game, bro.
Okay, because I know we do have a culture, right? Now, our culture, we have adapted, and it's ultimately been molded through our trauma, right? But we do have a culture. Now, ultimately, here's the biggest problem. prisoner pipeline, we got the war on drugs, and then we had the Women's Act movement. So we have deviated from the culture. But all we got to do is go look back at if you over 35 years old, you got grandparents that were born in the South and that are at least 75, 80 years old right now. And so they came from a cultural system. You know what I'm saying? We got to experience the last of the big mamas. And we got to experience the last of daddy. You know what I'm saying? So we do have culture. It's just that we've deviated because what has ultimately happened is because of the war, the separation of the black man and woman in the household, the woman making the system her man, and the man being incarcerated, it has corrupted our culture from that sense.
So when I speak on culture, I don't speak on the culture from our grandparents, our great grandparents, or whatnot. I speak on culture from centuries ago. When you talk when you talk about Europeans, when you talk about people coming out of the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, their culture stretches back, and it goes back for centuries on end. Our culture was interrupted, and then we freestyled and pieced together what we could contain, or what we could hold on to, and that became the culture. So it's a gap that we have versus everybody else. That's what I'm.
For sure. Now, we've had a constant attack on our culture. And by proxy, we've had to evolve out of survival. So that's why I'm always, even though I dislike the ratchet culture, but I am overstanding of why it exists. And I do because I love my black women. You know what I'm saying? I do always have a place of understanding because I understand history. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm constantly looking and learning history, looking at the tactics and tools that the oppressor has used. So I always look at that and make sure that I have a place of understanding for why these certain things exist. These are survival tactics.
Oh, without a doubt, and it go to show you how strong, our culture is. Even when we have that gap, we still put put something together and piece together what we have today. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, absolutely, brother. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna pass the mic. Hey, this is just a strength to who we are as people. Any other group of people would be wiped out and erased from, damn near erased from the books of history if they
Without
gone
a
through
doubt.
what we have gone through. Constant, constant. We're talking about written over 450 years of oppression, constant pressure, where we ain't had no relief. Any other group of people would be damn near erased from the history books. But you talk about the resiliency of what our ancestors was able to pass down to us, and we keeping forward. The great brother 7-8 says it all the time. The most revolutionary thing that you can do is raise a black family, and charity starts at home. So if you aren't building and creating productive children and wives, you know what I'm saying? Then you can't go out here and have anything negative to say about the world. And you can't critique anything because your household ain't together. If you want the revolutionary that you see or you think this fantasy world should be, it start at home. And the problem is that too many of us have this messiah complex. You know what I mean? You got to look at yourself and see yourself being of service. And if we all think of ourselves as being of service to each other, then that's the way that we get out of our oppression. It can't be one of us, because guess what? look, they done showed us a million times over. All we got to do is chop off the head. But if we all look at ourselves as Messiah, we can't be defeated. And the only thing that black people want is to be left alone. Let us just be in our own vices. You know what I'm saying? Let us build our own culture. Just let us be alone. Let us tend to ourselves, do our own thing. We don't hate nobody. You know what I mean? It's people in this chat that are different races. I got love for them, but I got love for my people the way that everybody else do. That the Chinese man, he love his people. The Mexican man love his people, and everybody else get to speak about their people proudly and stand on them things, those things. And it's no judgment. But as soon as we do it, it's a problem. No, man, I can love my people and still love other groups of people too. So the most revolutionary thing that we can do is be our Messiah, be our own Messiah. Make sure that we standing on town business. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that our family, when we leave this earth, that we did right by our family. We produced functional and productive black men and women, you know what I mean, who are going to be of service to each other. I can see y'all brothers go ahead and cook.
Man, y'all getting in tonight, man. I don't even know what topic. I want to, man. Y'all okay? I'm trying to think where to start at. Well, I agree with all y'all. Y'all hitting the nail on the head. It's the stuff I've been saying for years. It kind of been falling on deaf ears, but I had to learn that where I'm at, competency wise, my brethren may not be at that level. You know what I mean? Like it's I put the work in, I did the studying, I took the time and the effort to have the knowledge that I have. So everybody's where they're supposed to be. So what I know is what I know because I put in the work to know it. So someone else, they might not. Basically, I was giving steak to babies. They still drinking milk, but I'm giving them steak. And then I wonder why they getting sick. So I had to kind of like fall back and, you know, I had to wait for their development.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Good.
Bars, man. Boy dropping bars on them, man.
Hold on.
But yeah,
that's in the Kabbalion, bro. I
yeah.
swear to God.
Yeah, but like I had to, but everything y'all saying, man, I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%. And Big A, you said something earlier. I wanted to speak on, but basically, you're right. I've been saying, and it's funny you said that because I was just talking to my wife about that earlier today. That it starts from the home, and I was just explaining to her that a lot of the issues that her, me, and a lot of us have stem from our childhood trauma that we never resolved.
Man.
So we might feel like, oh, I'm older, and you might understand the trauma, or you might your perspective of or how you we might think we dealing with it or we dealt with it, but really we haven't. We just learned how to cope with it. So whether it's through drugs, whether it's through just trying to suppress the memory or make excuses for why it happened or anything other than dealing with the trauma, right? Because it'll never go away. It's always going to be there. So it's a thing of understanding the trauma, and instead of letting it destroy you, use it to your advantage. So what I try to do, I try to be as open as possible with people. So if I see somebody going through something or they speak on something and I've been through it myself, I'm not going to hold back or I'm embarrassed to talk to them about it. I don't give a fuck. If I went through it and I see you going through it and I could give you some words of wisdom or some advice to help you get through that situation or to deal with that trauma, then I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's me showing my brother or my sister love. Because about me just being quiet, then who knows? You know what I mean? It's people that I've said things to, and we've had conversations, and I done forgot about it. And they'll come back years later, like, man, I appreciate. I was thinking about killing myself, bro, but you said da 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 da, and I'm like, damn. Like in my mind, I'm not thinking I gave him no words of wisdom or nothing, you know, no philosophy, you know, no, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just, you know, just whatever, and kept it moving. But to them, it meant the world. So I try to. I'm at an age now where I realize how much influence and power my words have on people. So I try to be more cautious and thoughtful before I speak. But yeah, but you was right, Big A. Like, man, it's crazy. It starts at home, and this is why I stress really everything that's going on right now, especially with our people, stems from a lack of a strong masculine father figure in the household.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's like
sir.
you wouldn't have all these twerking and girls getting pregnant at 12 and the boys out here killing each other in the street. Nah, because your ass, you be in the house.
Man.
So I feel like a lack of a father is, I feel like once we as men get ourselves together, I mean, I ain't sexist. I don't want the women to take this the wrong way, but they gonna fall in line. They ain't gonna have no choice.
No question, brother.
It's a genetic trait. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
genetic trait. But I think that, you know, if you did grow up in a single household, which I did, like it should be your life goal to, you know, make sure that if you settle with somebody, you settle with somebody. You know what I'm saying? To break a generational curse. You know, it had, because somebody has to make a sacrifice at some point in time for the next generation to grow, you know, and learning what your weaknesses are and trying to strengthen your weaknesses or at least clip them so that it doesn't fold over to your seed and become a generational curse. The same thing that we would do with dogs, you know, when it comes to current, we have to learn how to, to, to stop these generational curses. You can't ignore it. You know, we had problems, just like you were saying, bro. We had problems when we were kids, and we grow up, and those problems didn't do anything but grow with us. They not the little problems when we were kids. They bigger now. You know what I'm saying? With a lot more force. So that energy goes to our seed. You know, if we in the household, a lot of us, you know, go to the store for cigarettes and don't ever come back type, you know. So, you know, for whatever reason, whatever the reason is, whether it's on the left side or the right side. But, you know, yeah.
Yeah, man. So I like that, man, in real life application, bro. So I grew up. I had my grandfather in the household with me, man. So that was the male figure, and I think a strong male pillar of any kind being around is big. And so you and I have talked offline about this. I don't want to put all your business out there, man, but you know you have influence on kids that are not necessarily your biological kids. And I've started allowing my neighbors' kids to come over and see how my wife and my kids interact with us, right? And I can see a difference in their behavior when they come to my house versus when they go home because of the structure. Now, the last thing I wanted to chime in about was as far as having that structure and having that masculine figure there is, I don't say that to be any one person's responsibility, but the example you set is the example kids are going to emulate. You can tell a child anything, but they're going to do what they see you do.
Facts.
Big facts. They, you know, kids' mind, they used to say kids' minds are like sponges. And it's like, nah, they not like sponges. They like record like camcorders. You know what I'm saying? They'll play back what they see, you know, versus you. It's not what you saying. They making a mental note of recording everything that they see.
They mirror
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
whatever their household is. That's what they reflect to the world. So if you ain't shit as a parent, the likelihood of your child ain't to be an ain't shit child is very high.
Right. And the reason why everything starts in home, if all this talk about a better community, it all starts in home. Because whatever you put outside, whether it's your seed or yourself, that's the community. So if you putting out, you know, if you're not really on top of your note, that's what's going out into the community times 10, because it's gonna be it's 10, 20, 30 people just like you.
In a real way, in a real way. Hey man, I wanted to get to something that you said earlier, brother Big A. We were speaking to that trauma. Uh,
Yeah.
the only way that we heal trauma is through relations, because we got to be able to identify the things that trigger us, right? And the only way that we able to find ways and resolve those trigger points is by going through those processes. And ultimately, that's why I love the idea, like I said, mirrors. It's not just with our children, but it's within our intimate relationships too. Because when we really delve into it and we break down the things, our relationships, and we start looking at the real shit, a lot of times the people who show up to us, make themselves available at that time. Hold on, y'all give me a second. My baby boy waking up. I'm on daddy duty. You dig? Got my son in my arm and we getting it in. But yeah, those women or that said woman or whatever you get down with, they making themselves available, right? It's because that was the energy you was reflecting, and they was mirroring that. You man, when you really in relationship with a woman or whatever, however you get down, y'all get to rapping, y'all find out y'all got some real similar trauma, and that person can trigger you like nobody else can. So the way you heal yourself is through relationship. That's my opinion, but I believe that's how we get to divinity. And when we talk about that Trinity, that holy Trinity, man, woman, and child, that's how we
Yeah.
build up the greatest form of culture. And all we got to do is look at what our ancestors did on the continent of Africa. And when we saw them at their best, how do we see them operating?
So
Hey, can I did want to Big A, I'm gonna get out of the way, but I did want to
no,
say
no,
this.
didn't say no. Get it off your chest, man. Get it off your chest, man.
So I agree, but the relationship I don't feel should be existential at first. Personally, I believe that the first relationship you have to have when you're healing yourself is a relationship with yourself. Like you were saying earlier, you got to look at yourself, analyze what's wrong. You got to look at yourself and be honest with yourself. Because if you can't
Man,
do that with yourself, you can't do that with nobody else either.
and that's why I say a lot of this stuff it goes by when you're hurt and you hit a certain age, you're still searching and trying to find your way. But a lot of times I can pretty much guarantee every answer that you need is going to be in some form of a religious book.
Let me ask
Yeah.
your brothers this. How do you know that you heal? Right?
See, so
Because
that's
the only way you know you ain't triggered is when those triggers come around. And
yeah,
those triggers are most often presented to you in relationships. That's
yes,
when you
sir.
get to experience your trauma at its true and its most rawest form. That's why I say we can do the work. We have to do the work independently. But I'm saying to really heal, you have to be in relationship, because that's when you get to experience, and you have to take on your trauma in full force. It's no, you can't say I'm healed, but I'm not interfacing with the opposite sex, or however you get down, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We live in a different world. I'm standing on that. You can't say I'm healed, but you ain't operating and dealing with them, with that woman. You know what I'm saying? You're not dealing with anything that would trigger you. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have past hurt because a woman had cheated on you or whatever like that, this, that, and the third, or you got mama issues, and you got abandonment issues, things like that. Well, you can do all the counseling you want, but until you deal with a woman and she puts you in a situation where now you're reliving those sad things or those triggers, and now you're feeling it again. you can't do no personal work. You got to go through those things, and that's when you know that, and that's how you really going through the healing process right there. That's when you know you've overcome.
So I agree, and I wanna bring it full circle for my because like I agree with you, and I'm gonna speak in terms that I know, which is dog training. They call it proofing. Now you heal with or without that relationship, but when I teach my dog how to sit, I teach it in the backyard of my kitchen somewhere quiet, where it cannot be disturbed, so it can grasp the concept of what it means to sit down. And I just did a TikTok video today talking about proofing. So once I feel like this behavior or this healing has occurred, then I'll test it. But that's not the healing process. That's the test to see if the mend was effective.
Most definitely. And like it don't like a lot of people when they going through a process of change or touching on a subject that they really don't want to touch on, they don't give it their all, you know, and that's and it don't work unless you give it your all. If you're not disciplined and really trying to uh nip it in the bud, whatever it is, it don't work.
Fact.
Yo, my bad, brothers. I had to go and lay my son down right quick. My apologies, great brother. I missed out on some of the things y'all was saying, but I had to go lay down the young soldier. Hey, brother Dre, can you repeat the last 45 seconds of what you had said, and anybody else, if y'all had spoke on, because I want to make sure I heard y'all, brothers.
I like
Hey,
how you asked Dre. You understand? Because you already know.
hey, well, first of all, Big A, I want you to explain what you mean by that. But so what I was getting at was, bro, I agree with you to an extent, but I would say the healing takes place when you're alone, right? Because we were talking about the healing and being able to heal. And you said you can't really tell if it's a healing to you in a relationship. And I explained it talking about dog training. And I was saying that when I teach my dog to sit or to lay down, I teach him in a calm environment so I can get the behavior taught or in speaking metaphorically, so I can heal. But then once I've taught the behavior, I bring in different distractors, different environments, different things to proof that behavior. Now the behavior was taught in solitude, but however, to make sure that the behavior was effective, that is when I took it out into the public eye. So I mean, I think it's a multifaceted process.
Okay, I dig what you're saying, absolutely, and I agree with that 100%. Brother Big A,
Can I say something real
yes, sir,
quick?
yes, sir. Yes, I
And
was sure.
and now I haven't practiced this. I haven't practiced this, but I've heard it from multiple people that go through certain situations. They say they didn't really overcome their situation until they started to help other people with their same situation, you know. And that's when, that was like they last little, you know, weight gone.
Yes, sir. Uh, being of service.
Yeah, yes.
Absolutely. And okay, so let me be clear. So I I'm gonna go ahead and take this from y'all brothers. If y'all not familiar, but there is a channel right here on YouTube called the Zoa Show. Zoe Williams. If you're familiar with Corey Holcomb, the 5150 show, Zoe Williams is the said brother who beat up Ari Spears. Okay, if the famous clip about 6 years ago. Well, this brother has about four books out where he delves into relationships, right? So one of the things he talks about is relationships being mirrors, so on and so forth. With that being said, uh, when we are in relationships, that's when we're able to identify our triggers That's when we are able to truly identify our trauma, right? Taking a step back, doing the necessary work individually to heal ourselves, right? Then coming back into relationships to see, are we truly healed? Are those same things triggering us? And now let me do the necessary work with my counterpart to ultimately build up the best version of myself. And that's fine, it's being self-realized, because we often look at it, we often in relationships, and we don't see our fault. Majority of us only see the fault of the opposite person, you know, and we never look at ourselves and say that, hey, I am the reason why this or that, or the outcome of this was.
But see, that's why it's a full circle. If you don't get yourself situated before you get into a relationship, whatever baggage you got, you bring it into that relationship. And whatever baggage your partner got, she bringing into the relationship.
For sure. Ultimately, I believe that. Ultimately, I believe that, like I said, relationships are the way that we truly are being the most honest with what our vulnerabilities and our trauma is, though, because we can lie to ourselves. We can sit.
I
If we can,
totally agree.
I can duck off
Totally
and be
agree.
by myself and just, oh, yeah, all them people was foul to me. I ain't got no problems, this, that, and the third. And if I'm not interfacing with another woman, no women, you know what I'm saying? I could just lie to myself and just die. You know what I mean? But going through that process of going, you know what I'm saying, having relations will, that's when that's the honesty right there. Hold on, let me give a shout out. We got White Weight in the building, Mayhem. uh what did White Way say? He said, salute, good brothers in the chat. Much love. Salute, salute, salute. Uh oh, okay, okay. The real Don Dada in the building. Salute, High Key Lee. Salute, salute, salute. I appreciate your brothers. He said, praise the Shogun. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute to all the Shoguns. Salute, salute, salute. I appreciate everybody in the building. Everybody hitting that like button, sharing it out. Much appreciation. Much appreciation. And we cooking. We cooking. Hey man, we gonna rock out for another 15 minutes tomorrow morning. My baby first day of school, and yeah, man. So it's gonna be a very impactful morning. Me and my wife, we taking her to school, and we got to wake up, make sure that we on point, get all the cheering together, this, that, and the third. So go wrap this one up a little earlier than we normally do, but we are going to double back. Um, like I said, we in the studio, we getting this audio equipment together. We go, we working to be the elite, the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I can tell all of the sucker MCs, shots fired. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey man, anything y'all brothers want to cook on or add to that? You know what I'm saying? We go rock out for another 15 minutes.
Well,
Man, oh,
no, you
what
go
I
ahead, BA.
want to okay, what I want to say is, man, we should do a show about finances, bro. Finances.
And I got that link you sent me. I'm going to watch it with my children. So
Okay.
yes sir, yes sir. I'm familiar with
Yeah.
that the cat that you the video you
Oh
sent to.
yeah. I try to stay up on it. Hey, Dre, did you see that video of my daughter choking me?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the second time she did that. That was like 2 years ago, man. That was at the barber shop. You know, like the second time she did it at the barber shop in front of everybody, man. I was like, you know what I'm talking about? Everybody, they was laughing and stuff. I'm sitting there like, I couldn't breathe or nothing, man. Yeah.
Hey, can you explain to them though? Because
Yeah.
I want to really go into detail about that. Knowing a form of self-defense is mandatory, and
Yes.
knowing how to change the tire, self-defense, how to fire a firearm, even how to cook a piece of meat from raw until its edible form is mandatory. So y'all go ahead and do what y'all want to with that, bro.
Yeah, man. my daughter was 7 years old. I've had her in jujitsu since she was 6, and like she get around, and sometimes she want to play, you know. And I'm at the barber shop. I'm a barber also. Um, and I'm just sitting in my chair, and she messing around. She get behind me, and she put me in a rear naked choke. And I'm talking about like a for real, a real choke to the point to where I was mad when when she let me go. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, uh, just like Soul say, man, everything, it is full circle. You got to educate yourself, educate your kids. You can't stop at you got to put everything into your seed. Same thing with martial arts and everything. And I got a daughter, so the odds already against her. Just teach her how to protect herself. My number one rule in all cases is if you can run away, you run away. I don't give a damn what's happening. But if
Hello.
you in a corner, yeah, you do what you got to do.
Hey, you said if you can what?
If you can run away, that's your number one that is your number one form of defense in all situations. If you can run away, you run away. But if they grab you, then you know what I'm saying. You got like the it's you're trying to uh not only hurt them, you're trying to put them down. You know what I'm saying? So
You know, eh, look, some might call it coward. You know what I'm saying? You being a coward, but ultimately, I much rather my children get to safety. Let me deal with that. You know what I mean? Now,
yes, sir.
it's the warrior spirit in my all of my children because you came from a seed of a warrior. I got
Yeah,
ancestral warriors running through my blood. You know what I'm saying? It's in my veins. I feel it pumping through me. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, the self-preservation part is the ultimate thing because overall is strategy. Sometimes you got to run away to get to high ground. And
So
go ahead,
can I
brother.
interject real quick, bro?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't think people understand this. That and this is something that has to be understood. This goes back to the culture thing we talked about earlier, man. My brothers, Soul, Big A, Pimps Over Simps, 601, JT, the whole crew, man. Like what y'all gotta realize is the running is not for your safety. The running is so the other person, because we already know we're all trained to do exactly what we're supposed to do in those situations. The
right.
running is for you.
Right. It's to
The
avoid a situation. I mean, the whole thing is the aftermath. It's
yes.
not the here and now, it's the aftermath. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a reason why I chose jujitsu before I put her in kickboxing before we moved on to boxing. All of these things are going into, her little portfolio of martial arts or self-defense. But the reason being is boxing, my father, he used to coach boxing for the army in the military, after he retired. And he didn't put me in boxing. He put me in karate, taekwondo. But it's a with boxing and striking, it's so much that comes from that. If you strike somebody, uh, you know, just the wrong strike, you could kill them. Not only that, you can injure yourself, or you know what I'm saying, in the process of striking. So this is just me personally. I believe when it comes to your kids and protection, they should learn how to do martial arts that don't uh, start with striking. It's all from unorthodox type situation, like on the ground. Being able to protect yourself on the ground, and as they grow, get them into that. But coordination is, I mean, it's all who you dealing with, and your kids. But that's just me personally.
Hey, that's a great point, brother. That's a great
Yeah.
point. Not damaging the developing body, uh,
Yes.
and taking on more of the constrictor approach.
Yeah, the natural approach, because I mean, like right now, people get out there and everybody talk about, yeah, I can fight and this and this and that, but and when you get into a real fight, the majority of people can't fight. You know what I'm saying? So that alone is something that would get you on the ground quick. If so just learning how to fight, or starting to first of all defend yourself and be able to protect yourself in unorthodox situations, is because it's hard to defend yourself against when you're a trained fighter and and you're expecting to get direct shots, and somebody's just all over the place, and you don't know what you walking into. You know what I'm saying?
You thinking they about to throw a left hook and they hit you with a roundhouse?
Well, I mean, even so, I mean, it's just nothing is direct. Is direct, and you're more likely to end up on the ground if both of y'all can't fight and y'all end up wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And then if you are, and then as a youngster, if you're going up against somebody that can fight on their feet, 9 chances out of 10 they can't fight on the ground.
Right.
Bro.
So it gives you an upper hand in a different situation. So if your child goes up against somebody that can actually fight, 9 chances out of 10 they can't fight on the ground.
Look, I gotta interrupt because this shit is funny. Big
Yeah.
A from the
Yes,
Kendall
sir.
birthday back in March.
Yeah.
He brought out his daughter. Mind you, I don't know if y'all ever seen Jet Li Unchained. When I tell you that girl got in this damn what's that shit called? The trampoline place. And
That old gladiator thing with the
they got the poodle sticks on the thing, man. She is wrecking shop. Man, and going back in line to fuck up all the kids in there, man.
She little something, but she enjoyed like she enjoyed the game. She enjoyed the competition. No.
Yeah. Hey, Big A, you inspired me. You know, my baby girl is 10, and I've been having her on these mitts on this the boxing side of the game. But,
man, that's what's up.
Oh yeah. She can crush too. You know what I'm saying? I was at one of my partner's house earlier today, and he got a son about my daughter age. And, I get in my Philly shell, and he was talking about how he liked the box and everything, and I'm testing him. I'm like, shoot your shit. You know what I'm saying? I can take them punches. And I'm like, okay, you got a little thud on him. I see you, young bull. I see, man, my daughter. Hey, my daughter, them knuckles be crushing, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I be getting in the shower afterward. I be having to put a little icy hot on my jaw sometimes. She be hitting me with shots and everything. I'm like, okay. But what you're talking about, the wrestling thing, especially females. And unfortunately, my daughter, she got the spirit of her ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like, my daughter's very elegant. She's sweet. She's kind. She's a lot of her mother and then a lot of me. But I also know she is also taken in from the world as well too. So let me equip with these things. She's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Like Roccing, she gonna have little hater bitches on her.
Yeah. That's gonna happen.
What do they do? They grab hair, they swing and try to take you to the ground. So you got to learn how to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I want her to be nice on them toes. You know what I'm saying? Crush.
Yeah.
Us. Break them apart. Most girls only know how to fight with one hand. You dig? The other hand they hold it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why I would always go. That's why I always would start from the ground up, because I mean, naturally, like, don't get it twisted. Like, if I could choose, like, for real, one martial arts, I don't care about anything else, it would be boxing. Just because I love the art of boxing. Like, it's a real art. And, like, when you nice on your feet, it's a finesse thing. And a lot of times, man, when you in a real life reality situation, there is no time for finesse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There is no time for any of that. So I mean, but at the same time, it's just my personal opinion, you know. Um, and then if you were dealing with somebody who was really nice on their feet, let's say you were dealing with a Mayweather type of dude, do you think Mayweather can handle himself on his back? You know what I'm saying? So that's just me personally,
Yes.
and I've seen it firsthand. Like I when I was in college, one of my friends was boxing pro. He would be down at Dover Downs where he never really made anything, but he was nice at his hands, especially to somebody who doesn't have any kind of boxing skill. He looked
Oh,
like, you know what I'm saying? He looked like, you know, Jordan with the gloves on,
hey,
but
that's Brother Juice said that right there. I
yeah,
always say a fighter train to fight, beat a
yeah.
fighter who never fought. Hey, that's facts.
And look like like the best fighter to ever put gloves on, whatever the case may be. But I remember he had gotten this fight and he was fighting this dude, and the dude was a lineman on the football team, and they was getting into it over a girl or whatnot. And he didn't want, it's the whole man mano y mano thing, big respect. And the big dude was just slamming him on the car and everything. And I just thought it was going to be a wrap. But as soon as he got his feet under him, it was,
Start,
you know what I'm saying? That it was a whole different story.
start
You know what
crushing.
I'm saying? But yeah. Oh, I thought you said question.
No, I
Uh,
said he started crushing them, hitting them with that.
yeah, yeah.
Mike check 1 2. Your brothers there?
I'm here.
Okay, okay. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Hey man. Hey, salute to you, Juice. He said that's why I always keep my little cousin around because my son would get beat up.
Oh shit.
Because my son will get the training getting beat up from his oldest cousin, but he says he only let him go to the body, no headshots. Hey, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Hey man, you gotta let the boys be boys. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you get better and get tougher is going through the gauntlet. You know what I mean? Uh, that's part of the game. Every now and again, some of us allow our daughters to go through those things, um, but it's got to be a balance. And ultimately, getting back to the original point, or one of the things we was talking about is having duality in the household. We got to have the balance, the masculine and the feminine. The feminine. You know what I mean? Finding a way for you and your spouse to work out ultimately is going to benefit the family. You know what I mean? Even if y'all don't work out together, finding a way to co-parent and just ultimately looking at your children as the ultimate goal, producing productive and healthy beings for the generation to progress forward. With that being said, hey brothers, we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up. If y'all got anything y'all want to add to this, we got another 5 minutes. If y'all want to add anything, last remarks, final thoughts, y'all brothers go ahead and cook. If not, let them know where they can find you.
Pimp, you go ahead first, bro.
Hey, pimps over the simps. Pimps over the
My
motherfucking
bad.
simps.
Yeah, I was had to take a store run, but yeah, appreciate you having me on, bruh. Yeah, this was heavy tonight, man, as it always is, man. That's why I love these lives, man. It's crazy. We always talk about things that either I've been thinking about or conversing about with family members and friends. But yeah, man, it's tonight was heavy. But I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, love y'all, and yeah, channel's Pimps Over Simps. Got some new content coming, and yeah.
Link in the chat. Put your link in the chat. That way, the people can sub to you.
Okay, we'll do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Pimp, you got anything more you want to holler at, bro?
Yeah, you can. Also, I got my clothing brand, Kenna Collections. Follow me on TikTok, um, Instagram. Um, but yeah, it's just. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got back, man. But I agree with a lot of stuff that was said, and I pretty much agree with everything that was said. And like, especially what Big A was talking about. Like, I never thought about it like that. That makes sense, you know, starting from the ground up. Because most of us don't have a ground game. Most of the fights that I've seen, especially hood fights, you know, usually once they get on the ground, it's a wrap. Especially if the other person has some type of, you know, jujitsu or I don't care, capoeira or something. If they got any type of training, like you usually done once they get you on the ground. But
Getting crushed.
yeah,
Hey, the average motherfucker ground move is to try to reach around that the motherfucker neck who on top of them. And once that, if they able to slip that neck from up under that underarm, they getting crushed.
facts.
Yes, sir. Hey, link right there. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to Pimps Over Simps. You dig? Hey, I appreciate you sliding in. Good brother. Good brother. Appreciate it. Brother Dre, go
Hey
ahead, man.
man,
Final
yeah,
thoughts. Anything you want to plug? Digital Dog Show.
yeah, man. Hey, so uh, we got a good turnout for this digital dog show, man. Cash prizes. Y'all can get with us here on Soul Channel. Rap with the Shogun's panel on Wednesday nights. The Sip and Chill. We putting out content. We changing the game little by little, man. We're also changing the narrative as well. I'm on all forms of social media as Samurai Kennels, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And one of the things I wanted to plug was the good brother Pimps Over Simps has his own clothing line and his own pressure washing company that he didn't plug in here as well. But I'm gonna talk to him about it in the back chat, man, because one of the things we want to do is we want to aggregate our businesses. And Soul, I wanted to just say thank you for having us on here, man. Thank you to anybody in the chat, our constant subscribers with the blue names down there, our subscribers who will have their blue names when Soul is ready for y'all to have y'all blue names. Big salute to everybody, man. But thank you, my brother Soul, for allowing me to vent and exhale before I start my work week.
Hey, man, this. Hey, brother Big A back in the building. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to plug? Go ahead and drop it now, great brother.
Nah, man, I just want to say salute to the chat, man. You know, they there, man. They there every week, you know. So it's big love, man. And salute to my brothers on the panel, man. Love y'all boys, man. Like we putting it together slowly, one day at a time, man, and just building stronger relationships outside, man, and just showing the love and creating better people as we go. You know, we every day when we get to the top of the mountain, then you know here comes the storm, and then you know we go through the process, rinse, wash, and repeat. So you know we always get to the top one way or the other, and that's to the chat and everybody else, man. Keep keep the game up.
Hey, in a real way, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all brothers always sliding through on Mondays, you know what I'm saying? Making an impact, uh, allowing y'all voices and your thoughts to be heard, you know, being of service to the people, you know, that's what I'm gonna lead. I'm gonna leave with that. Make sure you are always being of service to your people. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and build a legacy of your family being of service. If we build a community of us being of service, again, can't nobody stop us. And we're gonna end on that note. Uh, hold on real quick. Let me get Brother Big A back in here. Yeah. I want to say much love to everybody who came through. Brother Juke said, I joined the jiu-jitsu class because I can't wrestle. But yeah, hey, that's a fact. It can't get you down on the ground as being one. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and quick note, man. Like for anybody who really can't fight, man, jujitsu is the one. Jujitsu
Absolutely.
is the one, man.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, because Hey man, if you watch how they do a lot of those submissions, they grabbing clothing and everything. It's a real world ish. They will
And
use your clothing to choke you out.
yes, man. And if you ever see somebody who jujitsu go up against somebody who really don't know, just like some regular street fight, they look like a guy. You know what I'm saying? They look like a damn guy the way they, handle their business. You be like,
Yeah,
man, what? Yeah. So, and
yeah,
I mean, like, you could be out of, you be surprised to the people who it is, man. Yeah.
in a real way. Hey man, much love to the chat. Hey, love y'all brothers on appreciate y'all brothers for sliding through. Y'all stay in the back chat. We go rap for a quick second. But just man, nothing but appreciation. Nothing but wisdom that was dropped here tonight. Everybody who stayed in the building, all the great brothers who stopped by, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who commented, who hit that like button, who's listening, who aren't commenting, I appreciate all y'all. Y'all make sure y'all share it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this up an algorithm because ultimately this message got to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? We got to build a community for our children to thrive in. And ultimately, if we want our family, our legacy to thrive, we gotta build like-minded communities, and by that I'm talking about our households. We gotta build spouses for our children. We gotta think like that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta think like our children are gonna be spouses to people. So we gotta think like that. If we want our generations to be progressive and for them to have healthy relationships, think about your children being of service to their spouse. With that being said, we out. Much love to everybody who came through. Let me go ahead and give a round of applause for my brothers on the panel tonight.
Sir.
Love y'all brothers. We're gonna end it with this, and y'all stay behind.
There you go. One.